Mondays are playing on Mondays now.
All right, we're rolling. We're live here at the Movable HQ, and today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna take it back to our roots and talk about running nonstop. We probably do that every podcast, honestly, to be honest. But no, today we're gonna recap our experience from just over 2 weeks ago. So November 8th, myself, Wade, Kevin, we went up to Vienna, Illinois, just across from Paducah, Kentucky, and we ran Tunnel Hill. There were four different distances there. You could do the marathon, 100-kilometer, or the 50-mile, 100-kilometer, or the 100-mile. Myself and Kevin took on the 100-mile distance. Wade took on the 50-mile distance, and today we're gonna talk about it. How's everybody feeling physically?
I'm 100% back to normal. I think
back to 100. Wade,
I feel pretty good.
Wade ran before.
Like I'm pretty back to normal. Yeah,
I say you ran before Kevin and I did for sure.
I ran back that first Wednesday afterwards is whenever I got back and did my first. I mean, it was a short run. It was with my daughter, so it's not like it was a quick run. We did some little sprint intervals with it too, though. But I mean, it's like maybe 2 miles. But overall, felt really good. Body has recovered quicker than I have after any race, honestly. So
it's awesome.
I feel like I'm in a good spot heading into the new year.
Yeah. And then Kevin, you ran what, like the
Friday, so 6 days after the race.
A little under a week later.
I think I did 4 miles and it was a little stiff. I went slow, but it felt good to move my body. And yeah, I think I haven't run. Actually, it's the only time I've run, so I haven't run since. But
I say last week I did not run at all. Disclaimer. Yeah, I did not run at all last week.
But I've got all my stuff in the car today, so if you guys want to run this afternoon, just let me know.
Nice.
You can keep up.
What's that?
If you can keep up.
Oh, yeah, if I can keep up. Yeah. No, I took the most time off for sure, more than I would have liked to. But this race did not go in my favor specifically for me. But no, I took 13 days off. So I ran this past Friday. So almost 2 weeks removed. I felt pretty good. It was just like a normal group run. So we do like 4 miles every Friday. It was like a 9-something minute pace, probably. Felt good, no pain. I was really beat up after this race, though. I know we all kind of talked about that, but before we get into the actual like specific experience for each of us, like how did you all feel after the race? Because I know we talked about.
I was pretty jacked up after the race. I don't know. I was really stiff and because I had our van there, so I got done. I don't know what time I finised. 2 a.m. Before 2 a.m. or
about
something
2 a.m.
like that.
for
so
you.
I went to lay down and got real stiff. I could barely get out of that van. I had to use the bathroom really bad, and I could not. I just kept holding it because I was like, I can't move my body.
Just pee your pants instead.
Pretty much. No, I finally got out. But man, it was just I was really stiff. But like Monday, I was okay. So Sunday was really bad. Like I felt really beat up. Monday wasn't too bad. Tuesday was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the day after though, it's pretty beat. I mean, because I think all of us pushed pretty hard, so for me, I was pretty stiff. That race they advertised as a very flat race, which it is, but it also enables you to run hard, and it can destroy you a little bit.
Yep. What about you, Wade?
I felt like probably for 2 days afterwards, I was pretty daggone sore. For me, my calf cramped during the race, so the calf was always sore on the left side, but my quads at like the insertion of my hips were just so tight, and I've never had that after a race before. Like even just like kneeling down, I couldn't fully extend my hips, like they were just so tight and tender. And then for me, always post race, it's the transitions. So getting out of bed, getting out of a chair, it's always the transition. But then once I'm up, I can move okay. And this was the first race I didn't have any blisters. Like my feet healed up well, and that's usually something that doesn't hold up well for me.
That was a big win for you.
A little promo for Squirrel's Nut Butter here.
Squirrel's Nut Butter. Well, I didn't
big
put any
win.
on my toes. So
every 5 miles,
it was like 2 big bags full. So yeah, I don't know. Janae was putting them in bags for me and handing them off. I'd seen Andy Glaze do it. Like he puts it in a bag and you flip it around so your hands don't get dirty. And so yeah, I was applying that thing religiously. Did not want to chafe. Did not want to blister.
It works, man.
Yeah,
and
it worked.
Typically I always come out with some other like aches and pains, but for all of it, it was just more muscular soreness. So like other than that, I felt like I came out of this race better than I have any other time. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty similar to y'all. Like I was like Saturday night, even when I finished the race, really stiff. It's of course when you stop moving your body when you go on that long, like even at aid stations sometimes, like if you stop for a little bit when you try to run again, like you're gonna hurt. So I was really sore Sunday, the day after the race, like really bad, like to the point of like you feel the guilt of being at home and not being able to do much. It's like a 15-second
It's
transition. Yeah, it's normal. It's like a 15-second transition of getting up off the couch. Seriously.
Yeah.
And same with Monday. Honestly, like Monday, I still felt like junk, honestly, like coming into the office. And then Tuesday, or no, it was Monday, Wade, giving a shout out to Wade here. He came to the back room where I was sitting at and was like, hey, I have about 15 minutes. You want me to like work on you on the table? So he has this PT table in here, and he like rolled me out, and Nevaeh was sitting where I'm sitting at, and he started rolling me and like stretching me, and I was like, he was like, talk to Nevaeh and keep breathing. So I was just, me and Nevaeh were having conversation, just breathing, and I was really tender, really sore. But Wade, got the hand roller out, got my quads and calves. Told me to suck it up. I didn't have a fracture in my foot, which I needed to hear.
After every race, Logan has inevitably come to me. I think
some kind of fracture.
I think I've got a stress fracture in my ankle. I was like, dude, you are 2 hours out from running.
Dude, I get so in my head. Emily says the same thing,
and
honestly.
I'm like, you're fine. Like, okay, if this persists for 2 weeks, then maybe I'll talk about an x-ray. But until then, suck it up.
I didn't ask for an x-ray, but I texted Wade and asked for a boot. And Emily was like, did you really ask him for a boot? I was like, well, just in case. She was like, honey, just give it like a couple more days. So I asked Wade.
Luckily, no stress fractures right now.
No stress fracture, guys. I feel great, guys. No, so Wade told me to suck it up. I was like, all right, I'll give it a couple days. My mother-in-law was a lot nicer to me than you were, by the way. She told me, you might have a fracture in your foot. And I was like, yeah, I think I might too.
We probably did, but
I'm just, thankfully, I just heal so well, it's already gone.
Or you had access to a great team of professionals.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Where you work, so you're lucky. Yeah.
So Wade like rolled me out and told me to suck it up for a couple days before I'd think about doing anything further. And what do you know? He was right. So
what do you know? I told him for a couple days, and he sucked it up for 13 days before he actually got moving again.
Yeah, before I actually did anything.
Which is probably smart. So it didn't re-aggravate that.
Just listen to my doctor, my primary care physician here. But yeah, I was pretty beat up too, kind of the same as Kevin and Wade. But otherwise, I felt good just a couple days later. But yeah, my quads were really beat up. My feet both were really beat up. I think just the gravel, just like you're pushing on the gravel, and it's just different terrain than road running and even trail running.
Let's give a course rundown.
Yeah.
For those listening that don't know the course.
Talking about, well, how about you do it, Kevin? Because you do a good job of breaking down terrain, and you're good at. It
started gravel.
Kevin is kind of like
gravel, and then the end it was
gravel. A little bit tiny gravel, then big gravel, then little gravel.
So you start in the middle of the course. You go south, right? When you
south,
you go 13.1 miles south. It's an old railroad track, so it's a gravel rail. What do they call it? Rail trail.
Rail to trail, yeah.
Rail trail. I don't know.
Rail trail, railbird. I don't know.
So you go 13. And it's a really pretty. And I was expecting. I don't know about you guys. I was expecting the scenery to not be very good around it, but the scenery's beautiful around it. So there's hills all around it, but the trail is actually flat.
Yeah.
13.1 miles down to a nature center or something.
Yeah.
Turn around, come back to the start finish. 12 miles north, you go through the tunnel, which is an old railroad tunnel, which was really cool. I was not expecting that.
And like pitch black, even at like noon.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Really messed with your vision.
It messed with your mind, yeah.
You got out of that. Little uphill grade. So this is where they did not prepare me. They say the whole thing's flat, and it is, but it's like a 2% grade for like 4 miles. I don't know.
It was.
You feel
I was thinking probably more from like mile 30 to 46 or 48. Like once you got up to the tunnel, I felt like it was
all the way up to the tunnel.
Yeah.
20. Yeah, it was. Anyways, it was
46. Yeah.
I think so. Just let's start like your first down and back.
36.
So you went from 26.2 in the middle. You got back to start finish. You went to the next aid station, which was 29.9 or something. 29 point something. 29.2. Had a good porta potty there, just so you know.
Thank goodness.
Not after Kevin used it.
Was a good porta potty.
That's when the coonskin hat came off. And then
the sweat was rolling in that porta potty, son.
It was bad, man. It was bad. Oh man. And so then from there, 7 miles to the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
7 miles to the tunnel. That was all uphill.
That's where it got rough.
It was 2% grade, I'd say, uphill. So there was a little bit of elevation gain in the race, but it was all within that 7 mile thing. So I was running that, and it was like wondering why I felt so tired, but it was because I was going, I thought I was going uphill, but I couldn't even tell. But then I found out it was like a 2% grade. So that is the hardest, in my opinion, stretch of the race. One of them.
Agreed.
Get through the tunnel, great aid station right there. Wade knows that porta potty pretty well.
Unfortunately,
girls-
so does this little kid that opened it up while I was,
While I was
using
in it.
Yeah, I felt bad.
And
Oh,
then
no.
2 miles, and then you run 2 miles to the north turnaround, completely non-eventful at that
I
turnaround.
thought that was the worst stretch.
Pretty
that was a hard
monotonous.
stretch.
Yeah.
Not physically but just mentally.
Mentally, it's hard to go
Tough.
past the aid station and come back.
Yep. Turn around, you come back 12 miles, you're at mile 50. Now for the 50, I think 60% of the field quits. Of the 100 milers, like 60% of the field drops after 50 miles because you can drop down and get a 50-mile buckle and not look like you quit the 100-mile. It's like official 50-mile finish. So it was very weird as a 100-miler going back out from there because everybody's gone. And for me, the hardest stretch of that race is from that start finish to the next 5 miles. I don't know why. That was the hardest stretch. I'll tell you an interesting story about that later. I met a guy after the race was telling me about that stretch. But then you just do it all over again. So
Yeah, you
gravel,
do that twice.
flat, for the most part, and you just do it all over again.
Yeah, and like less than 3,000 feet of climbing throughout the whole
But
100.
I think it all came from up to the tunnel, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That
I think so
3,000 feet.
too.
So it does actually make it kind of hard, even
Mhm.
though the rest of it's flat. It was really interesting, but great course. I hate to admit this, Logan, maybe the best. It's better than our race as far as the coordination and management. You can just tell Steve Durbin knows what he's doing.
It's insane. Yeah.
I've seen a more well executed, especially the night before and everything, and just everything was so on track, on point. It was really good. Very well executed, professional, handled in a really professional way. Lots of good runners
And a lot of people there. I mean,
A lot
it
of
was
people.
a
I mean,
national
it was like over
championship,
800
right?
runners.
800 runners.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Across
an
all the
insane
distances.
amount for an ultra race, but I never felt too congested. Had everything I needed, like just very well done.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, us being race directors of our own race. I really appreciate when you come to another race, like, oh, these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They did. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and kind of backtracking a little bit about the night before, like you said, just talking about like super brief, because obviously, talking about the actual race, like our respective experiences will be more eventful and more fun. But the night before the event, they had it's similar to the Hot Rod Ultra. They have kind of like a kickoff event. This year they had Harvey Lewis, like the nicest dude on the planet.
Yes.
Like incredible, super nice. So I got there a little. I just missed Kevin and Wade that night. So I got there Friday evening, picked up my bib. We didn't do dinner there because the line was like extremely long to get pasta. Like, well, I didn't do the pasta dinner
bougie.
there. I didn't do the pasta dinner. Dude, the
So
line was
bougie.
insane. I want to hear Harvey
Yeah, I know,
speak.
because they ran out when I got up there.
Wade got garlic bread. with
I got
sauce.
2 pieces of garlic bread and sauce.
No, oh my.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, when we got there, it would have been like a 45-minute wait for food.
Wow.
Oh,
And so we were
got
like-
there at the very end. We just walked.
As soon as Harvey got done, we dipped out because we were like, we're gonna have to get food because the line was still so long.
Yeah.
So we got there, picked up my bib, ran into some good friends that I had met through other races and other events, and then ran into Francesca Muccini, who's done our race, has won the 12-hour event, got second place the 24-hour, been a female overall, pretty much every year, just unbelievable. Talked to her for a moment, and then got to meet Evie. And then, I just missed you guys. And then we went and we did some takeout from O'Charlie's, which was like right by our Airbnb in Paducah.
Nice.
So I just got a burger and French fries.
A burger.
Yeah, burger.
Wow.
So so my go-to dinners the night before race is either pasta or a burger. That's
Ooh, I
pretty
could do a
much
burger.
what it's been. And it did great on my stomach. Felt good. But yeah, that was my night before. What about you, Kevin? I guess you all kind of did it. Did you do it kind of
Yeah.
together?
Me and Wade, we got there about the same time, and then Janae took the pasta, so Wade couldn't get any.
Yeah.
Sacrificial.
Sacrificial. I did not talk to Harvey Lewis, but I went to Dollar General after, and he was in there, and we talked to Dollar. He's so nice, such a nice guy. We camped out at the start line in our van, and there was a lot of people camping. It was really cool environment, atmosphere. People had bonfires, and it was really neat. I will definitely do that again because that was pretty cool, and it made it really nice in the morning up because I didn't have to worry about anything because parking and stuff, I guess, is pretty tough coming in. A lot of traffic, right?
Yeah,
Sounded like
it's
coming
pretty
in.
trap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda and I we put out our knockoff solo stove, and played guitar outside the van.
Had people come up and get some B-roll of your bonfire too?
Yeah, I want to give him a shout out. I can't remember his name, but his company or his thing on Instagram is something soils. Dang it, he's from Carbondale, Illinois, I think. Anyways, it'll come to me. But yeah, he was there making content.
Which there were a lot of people getting
a lot
content
of
at this
photographers,
race.
videographers. Yeah, it was cool. So I got to meet him, had a good conversation. But yeah, it was fun.
Nice. What about you, Wade? What was your perspective on like the night before into the morning?
Honestly, felt pretty relaxed. I felt like because we got there kind of late, all the rush had already died down. I feel like if we'd have been there with a lot of people, it would have made me a lot more nervous than what it was. It was us and the workers, volunteers eating whenever we got in there. Yeah. So it was just more talking to volunteers. So I mean that was nice. They made more pasta for me. I'm not going to sound like a brat.
Did you go back and get?
Oh yeah, I got.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
My second plate had noodles, so I definitely went back and they said it was going to be 20 minutes to boil noodles. There's a lot of noodles to boil apparently. I don't know. I've never boiled noodles that long, but they got it done. They were very nice. All the helpers. I can't remember what group was there volunteering, but they were all great.
Masonic Lodge, I think.
It was a Masonic Lodge.
Yeah,
I thought.
Really nice guys.
So they were there being super helpful, cutting up with us, joking with us about how hard the race was. So just prepare yourself. And actually it was harder because the guy that was joking with us, he said, I'm not a runner, but I've heard from other runners that this race is a lot harder on your body because it is flat. So if you're climbing a lot, you're engaging different muscles. So he's like, it just kills your legs. And I was like, looking back on it, he was actually right. So the event, and then we left and we were at a little motel there in Vienna, just so I had a bathroom close by right until race start time, baby. Yep. So I could get everything ready to go. And then me and Janae pulled in. There was a lot of traffic. You called me at like 6 o'clock and you're like, hey, you probably want to get here. And we luckily pulled in and there was a car leaving and we just parked somewhere on the side of the road and went over to the start line. Yeah. Ran into you all.
Yep. No, it was I honestly like the start of the race morning. I've thought about that so many times. It's just like, it's so cool that, I mean, how many people work for MoveWell total? 12. So like a fourth of the company like got to go do this race this weekend. Yeah. It's really interesting, you know, and like, I've never worked at a place before that have people that want to do those types of things. And again, it was just an awesome event. I think reiterating the shout out you gave to Steve Durbin and like Durbin Race Management in general, like it was so easy for the crew to navigate. Like Emily and my buddy Tyler came, they were like, man, that was a cakewalk. Like you do it one time and you're like,
I mean, they give you a magazine and they give directions and all the stuff.
A big packet of the whole breakdown.
Yeah, very impressive.
All the runners, everything.
Cool. Extremely impressive. But yeah, just an awesome morning. And so, so we'll go through each person's like race, just through each person's race. But we get there that morning and Emily and I got there. Emily and Tyler and I got there. Race started at 7, correct? Was it 7? So we got there around 6. And there was a ton of traffic coming in and we parked what we felt like was really far away. But then once we got out and started walking, it was like less than 100 yards from the start line, maybe. So it was super easy to get there, get parked. They have a ton of volunteers that help you get parked, and you can just see the flow of traffic of people just going to the start line. So we get there that morning. I've been talking to Kevin a little bit that morning, so I kind of knew that we would all meet up before. We all got to kind of start the race together. Wade was absolutely locked in, though.
Wade, where was Wade?
I don't know. Well, I don't even know. Wade was absolutely dialed in that morning.
I started out in the front. You probably see me in the pictures. Yeah.
Wade was in the zone.
See, he was. You all are two guys, or especially Logan. He's a chatterbox before the race, man.
I'm a chatterbox anyway, man.
And that drives me nuts.
What are you thinking about?
I just want to get started. I can't think of anything else until I finish. Like I have that one thing on my mind and I do not want to talk about it.
Everybody's different. It is interesting.
I just got to stay. Yeah. I just get maybe I don't think about it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. I think it is interesting.
He had the Wade Weatherholt walk.
Yeah. Like he just walks past you puts his fists up, gives you fist bump and then let's go, baby. Let's freaking go, baby. We talked about that right before the race started too. Let's freaking go, baby. And then it's funny too, during the race, I'm like, what's up, Wade? Like coming to the tunnel, he was like, let's go, young lock. And like, it was just so like stoic still.
I heard he was also like that at aid stations too.
Was he?
I think I heard Janae was trying to get you pep talks and you just
No, I told her I was locked in. I don't want any pep. I don't want any encouragement. Give me what I asked for, and then I'm going to go back out.
Well, the day before the race, or the night before the race, we were talking to Janae before, and what did you say? Something you're like, don't go to the first aid station. Don't even cheer for me. Or something.
No, she was like, do I need to come to the first? I was like, no, it's 5 miles in. That's nothing. Like, I'm
don't
not
even come.
Yeah.
Don't even come to the first aid. If I see you, I'm dropping.
Yeah. That's what he said.
Well, it was funny at the first aid station. So mile mile 10, like the first.
Well, the first one,
the big one's at like mile 10.
The first one's at 10. Yeah.
So Janae was there waiting for me. and she was on the far right-hand side, and I guess I was running on the left-hand side. She said she was watching for me the whole time, and neither one of us saw each
Oh,
other.
it was a lot.
I saw
There was
Emily,
a lot of people,
but
though.
that was it. I told Emily just to have Janae get me on the way back, but that was it.
Yeah. No, it
Locked
was
in, baby.
locked in, man. I love it. But honestly, it is like, I wouldn't even say like intimidating. Intense is probably the right word. It's an intense start line because there are so many people.
That, and then, in any race, you're like, I'm about to literally run 100 miles. Like,
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people always like I think a lot of times when we talk about like ultras, like you downplay like marathon, half marathon distance, like those are hard too.
They're
And
all
people are
hard.
doing marathon distances. Like that's still a really hard distance.
All
But
hard.
like our perspective obviously was focused on like 50 miles and 100 miles for this event. And yeah, you do get to a point where it's like, I know that as soon as the gun goes off and I take off, the only thing left is moving my body for however long it takes me to get to the finish line. So it was a really intense start line just because there were so many bodies there and the energy is crazy. But at the same time, like it was intense, but also like really lifting because people, I mean, it's really easy for crew to get accessibility to this race. So a lot of people had a lot of support, I think. But yeah, so we get there and Wade's let's freaking go, baby, fist bumping us. And then Kevin, I ran to the porta potty last second because everybody came to the start line. I peed. Kevin sent Amanda to get his coonskin hat. He threw it on. And then I was like, where did Wade? I'm not really sure where Wade went. So I told Emily and my crew, all right, I'll see you at the next aid station, mile 10,
Let's
which
give a
was
few shout outs. We
Karnak.
had Francesca,
Yes.
Lucini,
Yeah.
Glenn Richardson,
Yep.
Belle Thomas, Chance Fox. Is that his name?
Yeah. Chance Fox, Sherry Fox,
Sherry Fox,
Gabby
Thomas.
Madison.
Gabby
Was
Madison.
Gabby there? Yeah.
Yep. I think that was it. So we had
For running.
running.
Yeah.
Running. We
And
had
then-
six alumni
Tyler.
in the race. Tyler Kelly.
Tyler Kelly was crewing.
Tyler or Logan.
Yeah.
So it was good. A nice hot rod ultra representation. there,
Yeah.
which was
And then
cool.
really quick before we move on, talk about the Move Well guys. Like when we first started the race,
Oh
like
yeah, there was
it was just a cool.
There was a couple people that were like, hey, you're the Move Well guy,
Yeah.
that had watched our content, listens to podcasts, stuff. So if you're listening, thank you. Oh man, I think it was Josh, I think from Hart County. He did his first 100, and the last time I saw him was it was late in the night, and I looked him up. He had a sub 24-hour finish. His
Wow,
first ever
nice.
100 marathon. His wife and his two kids were there. He had you could tell he'd done a lot of research. He'd come and bike the course, fall break and everything. So if you're listening, great job. You crushed it. And every time I saw him, he was just seemed really present, really positive. Don't think he had any pacers, which is hard to do if you're a first 100 miler.
Yeah.
So amazing job. But anyways, just want to give him a shout out.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, let's get into individual race recaps just to talk about like the race itself for the sake of time. It's so like we're 23 minutes into this already, and it's so fun to talk about this
so
stuff.
the race starts. Logan literally knows 799 of the 800 runners, I think. So I'm running with Logan, and he's talking to knows everybody, which is great. And then I think we were first 5 miles together. So the first 5 miles is like
It was pretty packed.
Oh,
was
it's so packed.
yeah,
Man.
and it was good though because it slowed
Made
me
you
down.
run slower.
Made you run slower, which was good because you could really go out too fast in that race. And then I think I hit the porta potty. I hydrated like crazy for this race.
Same.
I have never in my life seen more people peeing on a course.
Oh, it's insane.
Did you
No.
know
they were dropping.
Well, that's
off
why we
and
got-
in the trees.
like every 10 yards somebody was peeing.
Yes.
Not just males either. And
Yeah.
I saw all kinds of people using the
Well,
bathroom out
this race also it's pretty much like there's very little turns. Like it's just a straight
Yeah,
shot,
straight
and you're
shot.
just
You
on
can
a
see
grail
it.
trail with like a little bit of woods. So you have to literally just drop off if you're not at a porta potty to stop and pee. And that's the, when we first kind of got separated. I was like, I've got to pee so bad. It was like
I went to the porta potty first.
you went to the porta potty, and then we would catch back up. Oh my
One of
gosh.
us would pee, and one of us go ahead. Then one of us, other one would pee, and we catch up. We did
Yeah.
that for
With
like
my buddy
13 miles.
Austin, who we like connect with. So yeah, so Kevin and I, we ran with my buddy Austin. He lives in the E-Town area, and we ran with him for the first probably 5 miles. Same thing. Like we were like peeing and stopping. We catch back up. And then at one point, I don't know if your phone ever showed Wade, but I accidentally called you because I didn't have a passcode on my phone, and I was like putting it back in my my belt, and then I opened it up because my watch had showed up like active call. So I opened it up and I'd accidentally called you like on my phone, but the service was terrible too. So you may not have.
I was too locked in. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you were locked in. Let's go, baby.
I didn't even take
go,
my
baby.
phone with me. That was the first time in a
Let's
long
go,
time
baby.
I've gone on a run and just didn't take my phone.
Mm.
Janae had my phone for the entire run. So Janae purposely didn't answer when
This
you
is the
called.
first
so
time
you're
I
welcome.
ever texted. I was just texting Amanda. Well, I'd never do that.
Well, it was funny. Emily had told me that. She said that she was like with Amanda and Janae at some point and said that Kevin was like texting her business ideas
I got a whole thing.
during
Guys.
the
Couldn't
race.
skin
We're
around
not
the
going to
toe.
spoil
You
it.
already ruined it with
We-
the porta potty story now. So maybe that gives you more.
Well,
of a
hey,
reason.
we're just little Easter
Well,
eggs. People can
I
figure it
finished
out.
with it back on.
Okay.
Little Easter eggs for people. We can't
Yeah,
tell them
yeah,
everything
can't tell
yet,
them
but
everything yet.
maybe they'll figure it out. But yes, it was just an awesome day, and we all had different experiences, which is what's beautiful about ultra running. Everybody on that course had different experiences, but I think it's good to just let's go through like we'll go through the first 50 miles of our race, Kevin. But first, let's let Wade talk through his 50-mile experience because I didn't run. I didn't run with
talk
Wade.
like aid station each individual.
Whatever you,
Whatever you want to
I don't
share,
know.
man.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure to give a whole race.
Whatever
recap. I'll
whatever you
go
want to
ahead. I'll
share.
go ahead.
highs and lows.
I mean, I think overall for me, it stayed pretty level throughout. Like my first marathon, I ran most of it with Bill Thomas.
Okay.
And
Shout out to Bell.
Shout out to
I
Bell.
ran up on Bell and Sherry and Chance and Gabby, maybe like within the first mile, and started talking to them. And they were all running around the same pace and had the same goal as I was. So, and Bell was just trying to finish 100. I don't think she really had a specific time in mind. She was just doing it to do it. So she was like, I'll just run with you. She's like, I don't have any goal. I was like, all right, well, if you're going to run, I'll go ahead and just run here with you. And she made me keep pace pretty strong for the first marathon. The first 2 aid stations, I felt like flew by. It seemed to go really fast. Even the first turnaround back up to that first big aid station again, I felt like it all went by really fast. I felt like it started to slow down around the marathon when I got back to the main start finish. When I was finishing, if you can go back, is it Colson Photography that posts all the pictures?
Yeah, Mickey and Chad Colson.
Who was the lady that won the 50-mile world record?
and Flowers
Ann Flowers coming across the finish line, smiling, hands in the air.
at 5 hours.
At 5 hours and like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You can see Wade in the corner of the photo, bent over, turned around, looking back behind him, trying to eat any little thing he could.
Finishing his marathon.
I was trying to finish. I had a peanut butter and jelly, and Janae was like, "Here, you need to eat." And I'm like, "I just don't want to eat." Like I couldn't eat anything like that. That was probably one of the biggest things for me. Is I think I had some Skittles, M&Ms, and maybe like half a banana for that entire run. Like I really didn't eat that much just
Yeah.
because I just couldn't stomach anything at that point.
Mhm.
Other than that, it was liquid calories. or
I
gels.
experienced that a little bit too this race.
And then like mile 30 to 36, I didn't know why it was hard either because it didn't seem like that much of it.
I saw you.
Gosh.
'Cause I just
And
come through the
you
tunnel.
got me right at the top of it, right when we were finishing
Yeah.
that hard
You
portion.
didn't. You looked like you were hurting a bit there.
Well, my left calf started cramping like right in that. And before I was doing a pretty good 7-minute run, 3-minute walk, and I'd been doing that religiously the whole time. And then I started doing that. And I can maybe run a minute and my left calf would start cramping. I had to start walking. So like I feel like that's when I hit my lowest. And I wasn't with anybody for that.
Yeah.
For the last 24, I didn't run with anybody. I was
Oh,
by
wow.
myself basically the whole time. So that's probably whenever I hit my low when I started cramping. But then once you get up to the main aid station,
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
you get excited. Janae had her squirrel nut butter ready for me. So I was excited, locked myself, or so I thought, into a porta potty. Was about to I was reapplying myself, luckily away from the children. I didn't lock the door to the porta potty. Some kid opens the door wide open for the world to see. And
Did you say anything?
I was like, "Oh man, somebody's in here!" And he just
He's like, yeah, obviously, I just saw a lot of what you have to offer, man.
so that poor kid is scarred for life and will probably never go to another ultra marathon event in his life. And if that was your kid, I'm very sorry I didn't lock the door. You're a little delirious a few miles in at that point.
Yeah.
So that's what Kevin was referencing earlier. But I thought after the slight
Yes.
incline, that next 2-mile turnaround
Terrible.
was hard
That was the hard. That was
because
hard.
it was deceptively, it was downhill there and then it was uphill coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed that either, but
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
and it was starting
Yeah.
to turn like dusk for me then. And so it was starting to change. And I was just ready to get back to the aid station to see Janae and Amanda. I was trying to get back quick enough for them to get back for your 50 miler. So I was feeling like a terrible coworker that I knew you needed your headlamp.
Nobody was there.
Nobody was there
Thanks,
cheering on
Wade.
Kevin because everybody was cheering
Emily
on
said
Wade.
she was there and was like, "Do you need anything,
I came
Kevin?"
through,
Like,
I'm like, guess nobody's here.
And I knew he needed his headlamp. So I was like, I need to push harder through the segment, but I kept freaking cramping and I couldn't stop. So I felt bad
It
for
wasn't even
Kevin.
dark. So actually, it was fun.
Yeah, he was way faster than
No,
me.
I was
so
saying I was fun.
No,
Yeah.
I was just saying. I just felt bad because I was hoping they could get back to cheer you on because I knew you had a big goal ahead too. So, but then after that, it was just staying steady for the last like 10. Like once I got to 40, I knew I was gonna. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna finish.
Yeah.
It's
Once
just
you come
like
back through that tunnel, it's
Yeah.
like okay, and you
It's
got a little. Now you know you
little
got a
downhill.
Yeah, it's like after that, like once you make that turnaround, like every step from there is the last time your feet touches that piece of
Oh, yeah.
ground. Like it's
his name was the
broccoli,
90 yeah.
lettuce, tomato, whatever.
So he was
Bruckner.
Yeah. So he was out there trekking along, no headlamp, wild,
That
was-
just
That
watching
was
him out there
the
finish.
highlight of the race for me.
And then the two people battling for first place, I met them maybe like 5 miles from the finish where I was, and they were neck and neck at that point, and it was fun watching them battle it out. But two people passed me in the last quarter mile, and then I saw the finish line, and I passed them right back at the end. So that was my claim to fame to
There
run
you
across
go.
the finish line feeling strong. But sat down at the finish line, couldn't get back up for about another 35 minutes. I was pretty well stuck in that chair, tried to get up a few times, and everything just cramped and hurt. But overall, it was a good race. I finished in 11:32. My goal was sub 12.
Solid.
I
Very
was
good.
really happy just to keep moving to that point. The reason I was locked in, I felt like I hadn't had a good race in a long time, and it was just something I was excited to because 8 weeks prior I wasn't even running. Like you all both signed, or once Kevin signed up, then I convinced myself to sign up. I'd been having some hip issues, and I was just happy to get to the race, not hurt, under my goal time, and just excited to be finished. And then at the end of the finish line, I was cutting up. I was excited. Everything, the air was relieved. I was back to where I was again, Logan. So
I was about to say, what was
you,
it?
you probably would have seen me a little bit better there at the finish line.
I was gonna
so.
say, talk about the end because you said like you kind of turned it on there at the end and like you passed a couple people and you like had some in the tanks. Like, what did it feel like to like push through the last little bit? Or what point were you like, let's just do it and like let's open the legs up and like
It was
push?
probably within the last mile. Because
Okay.
I mean, heck, you've got 98% of the race finished at that point, right? So why not just go ahead and see what else you still have emptied in the tank? And it showed me I still had quite a bit left in the tank. So
Which
I know
is
I can push a
awesome.
lot harder.
Yeah,
It's just about get my body physically ready to go.
Isn't it nice? You go under that overpass.
Yeah.
You know, like okay, I'm right.
I kept hearing the overpass, but
Yeah.
it took me a while
Yeah.
to get to it.
But you get to, you're like, I'm right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a nice feeling.
So it took me a while to get to that, but no, it felt great to finish, and it was interesting watching the finish because a lot of the 24-hour or the 100-milers were coming through with me too,
Yeah.
and almost every one of them dropped at that point. Like they were saying they were done and finished too.
There's a
So it was kind
lot,
of seeing
yeah.
that.
a lot of people dropped at 50, I think.
But then I sat there at the finish until the 100-miler winners came through just to see how that finish
Which
was.
is crazy.
Yeah, they were like
Crazy.
neck and neck, right?
Yeah. And they passed each other within the last 2 miles.
You know, the crazy thing is like when we started the race, I'm like at I don't even know.
We were
10
almost mile 10 before
miles,
we saw. Yeah, it was
and
about
they
mile
were coming
10.
back the other way
because they had hit the
Oh my
turnaround.
gosh, those
Cooking.
people running fast.
Yeah.
Holy moly, it was nuts.
And I remember before we get into like our races too, Kevin, I remember coming through, I think I was about to come through the tunnel or was coming through the tunnel maybe, or coming back. I don't know. At one point, I remember seeing the 50-mile female leader, Ann Flowers, who ended up like breaking the record. I remember she came through and she was huffing and puffing. And I was like, is she going to burn out before she gets to the finish line? And then she still ended up winning and like breaking the record.
I went out on 50, the girl that won the 100 mile, I forget her name now, set a world record.
It was the Irish girl.
She's probably 75 miles. Same thing. Like she was running, just going,
Yeah, hurting.
dying. Like
She pushed.
she had 25 miles left.
Yeah.
And she obviously kept it up. Like
Yeah. And
that
broke
was
the record.
coolest thing for me is like, man, these people, it's not like they're just freaks and this and that. Like they are pushing themselves.
They're
to
hurting
the
too.
brink
Yeah.
for hours.
Right.
Like this isn't like they're just doing this for a moment. It was unbelievable to see.
Yeah. It really was.
Gene Bruckert.
Brucker.
I looked up his
There you go.
name. So sorry I butchered your name, Gene, if you're listening.
Give us super quick.
Kevin, give a quick synopsis.
Yeah,
of him,
rundown
'cause
of
Kevin
Gene.
was in love with this guy when he heard about him at the
Yeah.
spaghetti
Well, I
dinner.
wanted it to be me. So
Yeah.
he's 90 years old. I think he's from Illinois. And we heard about him. I think Janae had actually had heard about him. We found him right before the race. We all got a picture with him, which was awesome. But he really represents what we talk to everybody about is lifespan or health span. I'm sorry, health span over lifespan of living a long time, but having a healthy life as you do it. You know, unbelievable guy. He's done probably hundreds of races. Once I looked him up.
He didn't start until he was 67, though. Was his first race, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw that. And unbelievable.
Something
he's been
something like that.
Golly.
You're a kid, Logan.
Anyways, same thing. I saw him at that turnaround. I turned around, it was late at night. So I was at mile, I don't know,
75-ish.
well, it'd been more than that.
Second turnaround.
I was like at mile 80 something, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And it's dark, it's raining, it's windy, leaves are coming down, and I see Gene by himself, no headlamp, and just steady. And I was like, so not only was it inspiring, the story and all the stuff and the health span thing that we're talking about, but to see his mental capacity and that at that age, he's still willing to push, but he's also felt it before, and he's not scared. He's not uncomfortable. He's just steady and he's just persistent. That was really impactful for me to see. So it was really cool. Yeah, really, really powerful.
Yeah, awesome, dude. Yeah, it was cool to see him before too, because we had all kind of heard about him and talked about it that morning. And we were like, where is this guy? And then we saw a guy, I think he came out of the porta potty, and Kevin was like, that's got to be him. And then he had on the USTAF.
And did you notice the people that did that were competing for the championship on the back had like their age division?
Their age, yeah.
He was in the 90 to 94 age division.
Crazy.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
And he PR'd the race too, like in that distance.
I looked him up. He's done that race twice. So 10 years ago, he did that race 4 hours slower than he did this time. So
wow,
yeah,
that's insane.
So when he was like 82, he did a 4 hour PR on this race.
Yeah,
at 90. It's amazing, man. It's
cool. Yeah, that's amazing. It was cool. They did a really good job of like covering his performance too, like on the Tona Hill page, and then Mickey and Chad getting
the other thing
photos
about,
of it.
Like, you think about you talked about how it's a different experience for everybody. All these ultras, like everybody's working through things, and you could see that was cool about this race. You could see all the people. It's kind of unique to our race too, the Hot Rod Ultra. You can see people, and you can just see them working through stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking about with him, I'm like, and I looked him up, like his wife has passed. You know, like just thinking about probably the memories he's going through and the life experiences he's had and all the stuff. And I don't know his whole history, but just thinking about probably where he was at, you know, at midnight at mile whatever in the middle of the woods by himself in the dark, that he was processing and working through. Like, it's just so cool, man.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. So yeah, we'll jump into ours real quick, Kevin. So we'll save the best for last. We'll let Kevin go, because you had, like, honestly, it was like pretty close to picture perfect experience in terms of like you pushed, you had a time goal, you crushed it, you got through the lows. We all had the lows. You pushed through it. You rode the highs, and did an awesome job. So it was cool, because I didn't get through the full 100. So I was back in my Airbnb and I couldn't sleep. My legs were like trashed. So I was just tracking Kevin for the rest of the evening, basically, and just seeing him come through each benchmark. And I was like, man, he's going to hit his goal. So yeah, I started out with Kevin most of the race, and kind of similar, you know, you go through the first like little bit of the race. The first marathon had like a little bit of highs and lows, but really not a lot of lows. Came through the first marathon distance and felt like a little bit rattled. Like a little bit. It's funny, Tyler Kelly, who came and crewed me, told me later on in the race, he was like, yeah, at like the marathon, you looked a little spazzy. Like you just couldn't like calibrate where you were at, which kind of ultimately like is how I felt at the end of the race whenever I pulled. So I get through the marathon distance, and I had like a cheat, and I did a lot of liquid nutrition, similar to you, Wade, through most of the race. Get through the marathon distance, though, they were like, hey, let's try to eat something. You know, I would have like fruit mainly here and there at the different aid stations. And so I get there, and they had that food truck up front, and I think we had talked about it. You all didn't realize it. I didn't know it. Emily and Tyler had figured it out, but they had like a food truck, and they were selling food, but runners ate free. So if you had your bib on, they would give you whatever you wanted. So I got a cheeseburger and a Coca-Cola, took like maybe 2 bites of the cheeseburger, and I was like, I just can't stomach anything. Took a couple Scotias of my Coca-Cola, and Tyler was like, yeah, Scotias. And
I never heard that.
You never heard of Scotia? Take a Scotia?
It's not, that's not a word, I'm sure.
Okay. Look at Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary, it might be. And Tyler was, and I told my crew before the race, one thing that I'm really bad at, and honestly, if it wasn't for them, I still would have probably been bad at it, is just being efficient through aid stations. Like I always just take too long, and I don't realize it. Because I get all these stress fractures in my feet and my leg. Yeah, you guys play up on me for that. No, I always just take too long in my aid stops, and so they were really good about. I was like, just don't even give me the chance to really sit down, unless like, you know, maybe at 50 miles I could, or like later in the evening if I'm like really hurting, I just need to recalibrate, whatever. So at mile 50, Tyler was like, well, hey, let's just like, you ate a little bit, let's just keep moving. So then I just started walking with Tyler, got through the start finish there and headed out for the next turnaround, the north to south loop. Which that one was a little bit shorter too. That one was like 12 miles. Yeah. So it was like 13.
Felt longer.
Yeah. It felt longer. So, and that's what happened to me. I went out for that. took off, and I wasn't going to see them until the tunnel. I don't know what aid station name that technically was. And that was the lowest of lows for me throughout the whole race, for sure.
When you got through the first tunnel?
When I got
Like
through
the
the
2-mile
marathon
stretch?
to when I got through the start finish, the first marathon, from then until the next turnaround was my lowest of the race.
Oh, really?
So
Actually,
before I went through the tunnel, like that whole stretch, and it's because there's not like a fully manned aid station, I guess. So
a
it's
lot
and like
of lonely,
a lot of
space.
lonely miles, and like,
Yeah.
and then you get to that one bridge, and there was one guy set up. And it's
That
like
guy
this
was
jacked,
crazy.
this
Yeah,
jacked dude,
He
like
had
the highest
700
energy.
gallons of water.
Well,
Wait,
and so
how did he get him out there?
I don't know. And so what's funny, I'm going to do a quick sidetrack on that guy. So I talked about this. So
Had music jamming and everything.
dude, pumped up. And I'll have like a specific like Tunnel Hill documentary that my friend Michael has created for this race. And we finally wrapped up the interviews yesterday for that. So I'm excited. And he'll capture like the rawness and like the lows of this race and like me dropping like all of it that is not fun to talk about or for people to see, but it's like, it's cool to be able to share it because I would respect seeing somebody
real.
else's journey like that. So anyway, I talked about that a little bit in my documentary, but like you go on this long stretch and you get to this bridge and it's like this dude who's like jacked up, or he's like jacked and he's like tatted up and he has like literally like 700 gallons of water. It's like the jugs of water you buy from
gallon
Walmart with like the
jugs.
little tiny handle. It's like huge. And he's like, "What's going on, brother? You need some water?"
With no trailer or anything.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how he got us out here. I think he had a giant
He started
backpack or
that 2
something.
days before, just taking them in
Yeah.
one by one.
And so
he
he's
was
like,
pumped,
what?
man.
He's like, "What distance you doing, brother?" I'm like, 100. He's like, "Hell yeah, man! Like, you would look amazing." I'm like, "Thanks, dude. I feel like
That guy
crap."
was
You know,
awesome.
he was
I
awesome.
looked forward to that guy the whole time.
Yeah. So, was he out there on the second turnaround too? Or was it?
I didn't see him on my
No,
second
he
loop.
wasn't. I was disappointed.
Okay,
I was
okay.
hoping he'd be out there in the middle of the night.
So
still
yeah.
going.
So and that was the only
He had, like,
highlight of that
techno music
stretch.
going, too.
Oh yeah, he was like jazzed up. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is the highlight of my race." Yeah. And what's funny about that too is I noticed two guys stopped on that bridge to stretch after they got water, and I think they were just like trying to hang out around this guy for a minute to like stretch and just like take a pause. And
I
they're like,
pretended
"There's some."
that was an aid station for me.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people did. I didn't do that. Like, so I was going out towards the tunnel, got me some water, and I was like, all right, that was fun, you know. So then I keep moving, and then like we said, you get to the tunnel, and it's like, I don't know what time of day. It was like broad day. It was like noon or 1 o'clock at the latest, whatever. And it's like you go through the tunnel, which is like the iconic tunnel at Tunnel Hill, and it's pitch black, and I can't see anything.
It's
So
probably, what, 10th of a mile long?
Yeah.
2/10 of a mile?
I mean, it was,
yeah.
it was a
Well,
pretty
what's
long
funny
tunnel.
is, and well, again, this is when I did interviews yesterday with Michael, who's doing the documentary. I was like, I went through this tunnel, and it was probably, you know, like 50 yards, and then afterwards, he was like, dude, that tunnel was like over 1/10 of a mile long, or like maybe even close to like 2/10 of a mile. He was like, it was a lot longer than what you expect or what you thought. So you go through it, and I remember I have a flashlight on my watch, and I turned it on, and it did nothing. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like trying to see where my feet are going. But then I realized that I just need to make sure that I'm not running into people coming the other way because it's so dark. So I get through it, and right on the other side of the tunnel is the turnaround that we all talked about. And what's funny is like my lowest moments were from mile 26.2 to getting through the tunnel.
Exactly, me too.
And my high, like I got a high again when I went out to do the turnaround to come back. And that's when Kevin and I passed each other, because Kevin and I were together for a lot of the race. And then he pulled ahead probably around Karnak, which is like mile 10. You do the out and back, like the turnaround there, like that, the south to north turnaround. You were probably about 1.5 miles in front of me, close to 2 miles. And I was like, how far is the turnaround? Because that felt like forever to me.
Yeah.
And you were like, you're close. Like you're probably 1/2 mile away. I didn't see you anymore until the Tunnel Hill turnaround. And then at that point,
less than 1/2 mile apart.
at that point we were, it was about 1/2 mile or maybe a little more apart. But again, I was in a big low until I came through the tunnel and was going to the turnaround. And it's like you were saying, you said you were in a low right then. And I remember
I was walking and I saw from way off, I saw an orange shirt. So I started running. Because I
Well,
knew it was Logan.
it's funny. Kevin had said, and we hadn't really talked about that. And then he told me that, and I was like, well, I remember seeing somebody in the disc, because I was kind of using you as like a benchmark of like, when I see Kevin, I'm going to ask how much further it is. And then I knew, I was like, I'm getting close to the turnaround and I haven't seen him. I was like, maybe I missed him. But then in the distance, I was like, I can just tell it was Kevin. You know, I see him every day. And I saw him walking, and then he started running. And I didn't even think of it. I was like, he's probably doing like a run walk type of cadence or something right now. And then again, like Monday, he had told me like, I saw you. And so I took
because I saw Logan.
but honestly, it was like good motivation for each other too. So I go to the turnaround, come back, and then I get back to that turnaround right before I go back through the tunnel, and I change my shoes. I put my headphones in at that point. because I started to go into a little bit of low again because I knew I was gonna have to do that same stretch that I just did that sucked. Put my headphones in, my phone was like almost dead. So I listened to I had like a praise and worship playlist I listened to, and my phone was almost dead. And I was like, well, I need to have my phone on. That way my crew can track my Garmin tracker I'd shared. So I took my headphones out. I listened to like maybe 45 minutes worth of music or whatever. So then I get to the 50-mile mark, and I'd told you all too, I'm like, that's like, I don't even want the temptation of dropping at 50 or dropping down to 50. Because although you're considered a 50-mile finisher, I'm like, it's a drop. Like I dropped. And so I told my crew, like, hey, whatever you can do to mitigate, the temptation to drop, like do that if you can. And so I found out yesterday in the interviews, but I get through mile 50 and you go through the finish line, and my crew had set up probably 30 yards past the finish line to get me away from everybody finishing the 50-mile distance. So I came through at like 9 hours and 32 minutes or something to the 50-mile mark. So I was still on track with my initial goal of going under 20 hours. But at that point I was like, I know I'm going to slow down later. So I just want to focus on finishing the race. That's all I cared about. And then I found out yesterday, this was pretty cool. I guess they had a lawn chair sit out that Emily was sitting in and Tyler was sitting in. And they had told me that Tyler stood up to come and like wait for me when I came across the start finish line at mile 50. And he told Emily, they had made me like a turkey sandwich with some chips or something. And he was like, set the plate of food in the chair. So there's not an open chair. Like if he wants to sit, he'll have to move it and sit down.
Experienced runner, right?
And I'm getting chicken skin talking about it again, but I didn't know that until yesterday, 2 weeks removed. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like what a guy to like fully listen to what I was saying and be like subtly strategic about helping me be that way. And it worked because I like picked up the food and was standing up and eating, but I told them like, hey, I think I want to change shoes. And so they were like, well, do you want to change shoes now or do you want to wait until 55? Like still like pushing me to wait. So I just stood there and ate the food, put on, I think I put on like a really thin long sleeve shirt because it was starting to cool off a little bit. So anyway, I think I had moved the plate and sat down for a second to like retie my shoes or something. I didn't change my shoes till mile 55 when I picked up Tyler. But anyway, at mile 50, I asked Tyler, hey, can you jump in at mile 55? Because initially I thought maybe mile 60. And he was like, I'm ready whenever. So I took like a little bit of a longer stop at that aid station, stood up and started walking and was so stiff. Like you go across a crosswalk and they're like holding traffic and I'm like hobbling to get across. I was like, I feel bad. I'm like stopping traffic. Anyway, pretty status quo till mile 55. I didn't have to turn my headlamp on until mile 55 because it wasn't dark yet. Mile 55, pick up Tyler. Energy changes. I'm like, I feel amazing. I feel great. We get through mile 55. I see Kevin win at mile like 63 at the Karnak turnaround for the second time. And at that point, because I asked about Kevin at every stop, I'm like, is his pacer coming? Like, because you had told me, like, I don't know if Nick is coming for sure or when, or if he'll even come. I was like, did Kevin get a pacer? They were like, we didn't see anybody. So then at like mile 63, Tyler was like, is that Logan? Or Tyler was like, is that Kevin? And I hear Kevin, I was like, K-Dub. And he was like, whoa. But funny, tell them how you thought you saw me and Tyler, or what, like how you figured it out.
I kept looking for a tall lamp and a short lamp.
Because Tyler's like 6'2", probably 6'3". Like he's tall.
The first time I saw it was somebody with one on, and then somebody with a little like a
waist
lamp. And I thought that was Logan.
It was definitely
It was like the height difference.
Yeah. But it wasn't. And then I saw a tall one. And then this little tiny one below.
Hey, easy. Shorter one, not tiny.
I knew it was Logan. That was a cool moment. I don't know why I got so amped up for some reason.
Well, I've told a lot of people, like my favorite part of the race, I think, was like that moment because I don't know, it's just I don't associate with you guys.
The stars were amazing.
And,
did you know
yes,
that was like last year when we did Pinhoti.
Pinhoti. I said that to Tyler.
But of course, it was weird because an hour later we're dealing with like huge storm and lightning and all stuff. But at that moment, it was like the clearest sky. Stars were bright.
It was beautiful, man.
We were in that kind of like grass area, open area.
Yeah, like right after Karnak going to the turnaround. Yeah. It was beautiful. And no, I said that to Tyler. I said that exactly. I was like, man, this reminds me so much of Pinhoti. I was like, but at Pinhoti, Kevin and I kept saying we feel so close to the stars because we were like more in the mountains of Georgia, obviously. But no, that part was awesome. And I think that was my favorite part of the race still was like passing you at that point because it's like, I'm getting chicken skin again, man. Because it's like you're passing each other, and it's like, yeah, Wade's giving me the 6-7. But it's like I was passing you, we were passing each other, but we were like in that moment I realized like I don't know. It's like I always associate you guys with Move Well, obviously, but like in that moment, it was like we're just like it felt like we're just like two brothers like suffering in the middle of the night, and we're just like out here in the darkness, and like we're hurting, and we've gone through this experience already, and it's like that moment it was just like, gosh, we're doing it, doing this thing, and like at that point, I had so much confidence of like. I remember telling Tyler not long after, I was like, man, all I got to do is get to mile 77, and all I have is one more out and back, and then I'm going to finish this thing. And at that point, I had told Tyler, like, I don't really care about a time goal. Like, I just want to get through it and finish this race. So fast forward, I do the turnaround, come back to mile 66 to Karnak again. So and Emily had just gotten like McDonald's. That's all there was there for her and the crew. So I crushed some French fries, drank some Coca-Cola, and I was like, all right, I'm going to keep moving. I'll see you guys at mile 77. So again, this was mile 66. And then
Tyler run with you that stretch too?
And Tyler was still with me. So Tyler was like, I'm going, as long as you'll let me run, I'm going to go. So he was planning to do 45 miles with me, just a dog, an animal. And again, just so experienced. And we get through mile 66. And of course I had stopped. I didn't sit down. I just stopped for probably four minutes or so, ate French fries, drank Coca-Cola, like I said. And then we started walking, and then we start walking through. I'm adjusting my belt, putting my flasks back in my belt with my water and tailwind. And all of a sudden I like kind of stopped to fix my bottle, and I start shaking like uncontrollably. Like after a race, you guys have gotten the shakes where your body temperature is, but I was having that happen during the race, which I've never had happen before. And so I was like, gosh, like it was for like a minute straight. And he was like, hey, just chill. And he was kind of like rubbing my arms, or just like, hey, like grab my shoulders, like, do you want to go get a jacket? And I was like, can you go get it? I'm just going to keep walking. So he ran back and got it. And at this point is when like the brain fog like really started to set in. And then yesterday doing my interview for the film that Mike was going to put together, I like got really emotional because we were talking about things. And then he was saying, well, at this point, whatever, like Tyler did this and he came back in about 3 minutes and brought you a jacket. And I was like, I don't remember a lot of that. And it made me kind of emotional because I've like really struggled with, did I make the right choice? Like, should I have dropped from this race? But a lot, like pretty much from mile 66 to dropping at mile 71, I don't remember 90% of that. So I was like getting like emotional in the fact of like, I don't remember any of this. And I think I feel good about like the decision I made. So anyway, long story short, we're walking and he brings me back a sweatshirt and I put it on and I start running a little bit again. We're like shuffling. I was like, hey, let's just run. I feel okay. Then about a mile or so in, I'm around mile 68. I don't remember a lot of this, obviously, but like I just remember my chest feeling kind of uncomfortable, like tight almost. And then at that point, between mile 68 and 71, Tyler and Emily had some communications about, hey, come to mile 71 instead of mile 77. Like, I think he just keeps saying that he just wants to talk to you. And then, so again, I guess at that point, I didn't realize Tyler had told them, like, I kept grabbing my chest, like over my, like on the left side of my chest. And I just remember experiencing some brain fog and like, I just didn't feel calibrated was what I kept telling them. So we get to mile 71 and I don't go to sit down or go to the car yet. I'm standing there. And then at that moment, I kind of having like a little bit of clarity. And I just remember like hugging Emily and like having a little bit of like an emotional moment. And I'm like, I think at that point I probably knew like, I know what I need to do. And then I made the comment in the film yesterday too, when we were recording, like, I don't remember if I made this up in my head that Emily said it or if I was telling myself this, but I just remember hearing like, because I wouldn't say like I'm done, but I just remember hearing whether it was from Emily or me telling myself like I just need to get home to Leah is what I kept like hearing and telling myself. And again, the big thing was like I've never had the chest discomfort. But then of course in my head, I'm like, is this all mental right now? Like, am I being soft? You know what I mean? Like, is this just a low I'm trying to work through? But then it was just that time felt different. So then I walk over to the car because they had our vehicle there and I sit down in the chair. And as soon as I sat down in the chair, I already knew the answer to my, like what I was trying to figure out was like, am I done or am I going to go back out? And I think it took me like 20 minutes to decide or to like verbalize and say like, yeah, I think I'm done. Because one thing I love about Emily and Tyler and Michael that were there was that none of them told me, I think you should be done. Like none of them were going to tell me the answer to what I needed. So all three of them, or Tyler and Emily both had said, like, we're not going to tell you what to do. Like, you just, like, you need to go based off of what you think you should do. So again, at that point, mile 71, and it was like still to this day, probably the hardest ego hit I've taken, which I know I talked to Wade about that. He was like, like ultimately that's like one of the biggest sins is like your pride, just like being able to put that aside. So I think what I've learned through all this from my experience is obviously, one, I'm going to go back and like do that race, because it is hard. I'm like, I want to finish that race, and not really for ego and pride, but just like, I just want to go back and experience it again. But what I've learned is like, honestly, like making the call to stop that race and like quit that race is a word I've avoided, is like quit. Like me quitting that race was big for me, of being able, I think, to put my pride aside for a minute, because
harder. It was probably harder to do that than just to keep pushing yourself.
Yeah, it's felt harder for sure. Like I think like the recollection of it all has felt harder than it would have been to push through that moment of it being hard, whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, I didn't end up in the hospital, and I was able to go home to my daughter. I was down for 2 or 3 days for sure, but I feel okay about it. Like I'm not happy with having to stop the race, obviously, but that was my experience. I'm going to go back, and I loved the experience that I had in that race. Obviously disappointing, like I said, but
You'll
just
crush it next year.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go back
You'll do
hopefully next year and crush it, and do it again. But yeah, again, we've said it multiple times. This race is so flat and fast that you can go out and push really hard on the race, and this is by far the best I've ever done to push myself in a race in terms of like setting the pace. I came out conservative enough to be sustainable, but then also push myself to try and get under that sub 20 goal. So I think I ended up pulling it at like a little over 15 and a half hours maybe. But of course on the race website, it's not a DNF. It shows me as like a 100K finisher. But it was interesting to look at that, because like time wise, like for the 100K distance, of course, these are people that also dropped from the 100-mile distance that got to at least 62 miles. It was, I think it was like 8 overall, like in terms of time. So I was like, I was moving well, but I just, obviously I didn't get to my distance that I wanted, but I like refused to go back and get a 100K buckle. I was like, I'm not getting one. They were like, we can go back. And I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. So that was my experience. As Mark Lander says, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, Kevin, I know we're like already an hour into this thing, but
no, that's good.
Share your experience.
You got 2 minutes.
Yeah. Say it. And at some point, Wade's going to have to jump off this thing for sure.
So for me, low was the same spot. It's interesting to hear you say that, because I haven't heard you say that yet. For me, it was 26 to exactly where you were, 36 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So put on the coonskin hat, was rolling, had a whole business idea by mile 20, Coonskin Running Co.
Mile 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
Run wild, make people smile. So that's but got to the and last year when I did a 100-mile race, something about that marathon distance, I think of like, oh my gosh, I got to do 3 more of these maybe, or maybe that's when it gets warmer outside, but that's a hard period for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So went out on the next, the start finish there at 26, got to mile 29. Stomach wasn't feeling great. I'd had some stomach issues for the whole week leading up to this.
Mm-hmm.
We had virus run through my house.
Your whole house.
I think I had something going on, but
all three of us had a good porta potty experience, I think. So
I mean, this is where when you talked about, you kind of closed that gap. It's because I was in the porta potty for like 10 or 15 minutes, I think. And I had that coonskin, and I just remember sitting in that porta potty, and I was so hot. Like my head felt like it was going to explode. And I was trying to set an unofficial world record to run the furthest run in a coonskin hat. The only thing I could think I could verify this would be Davy Crockett would be the only other person that had gone that many miles in a coonskin hat. And but I just couldn't hang on. So I stuck in the back of my bag. I got out of there. I was really struggling from 29 to 36 was rough. And I was having trouble running, just all the stuff. My stomach felt terrible, but I was able to at least stay positive. So got through that, got to that aid station after the tunnel. It was good to get to that aid station. It was nice to get to the aid station, and saw Amanda and Janae and Emily and Tyler and everybody there. So that's just always a good boost. That's probably the best aid station on the course.
I agree. I love that aid station.
Great aid station, a lot of good energy, enough space. It's just all the stuff. Went back out. It didn't feel great again. So I got to that turnaround, saw you coming. I was feeling kind of rough, and started running, and then hit the tunnel, and then just knowing that I've got it downhill for a little bit here, and I felt okay going back. Got to mile 50. Nobody was around at mile 50, and it's always fault. But I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I mean, there was nothing in my brain like I'm gonna quit. Or
Well,
anything
Emily
like that.
said she like kind of checked in and
Yeah, I
and
was
she
fine.
said she was like Kevin said he was
I
good.
was
She was like I kind
fine.
of felt bad, but said you
I
felt
took
good,
a
looked
drink of
good.
those free energy things they were giving out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, those were
Not
awful.
good.
One swig, threw it in the trash. Didn't really eat anything, and I just kept on going. I was like, well, maybe I'll meet. I texted him. I tried to call Amanda. She didn't even answer the phone. Tried to text her.
Service was kind of crappy out there at some
I think
points.
maybe I did get a hold of her eventually, and I just said, hey, I'll see you guys at the next one. So 50 to 55 felt really hard to me. Really hard. Like, and I think it was because when we started, you know, it was all that energy and stuff, and it just flew by. That was a really desolate, like lonely spot.
It falls off
I
there.
met this guy after the race in his truck. He came up, pulled up to me. He's like, "Did you just do the race?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I grew up out here, and that's one of the biggest hills." He said, as a kid, he would get on the train track. You know those old
Oh
things you
yeah,
pump?
yeah.
And he said from where the start finish was to that 55 aid station, he didn't have to pump it one time. He just roll. But so I should have been running downhill there. But even coming back, that was the hardest part for me. So I don't know. But anyways, I met Nick and Amanda at mile 55, and I think Janae was there too. Yeah, Janae was there, and I was really out of it, like total fog, like
brain fog. Yeah,
I felt terrible, like, but my brain just nothing was like making sense, and I knew Tylenol and caffeine seems to be a good trick that I learned in one of the races. So my plan was to get Tylenol and caffeine.
Dude,
there.
at Pinhoti, we gave you Tylenol and Red Bull, and you were like a changed
Game
man.
changer.
Yeah.
So Amanda gives me Tylenol because I told her I need some Tylenol. I guess she gave it to me. I take it, and then I asked her for Tylenol. She's like, "You just took it." Don't remember that at
No
all.
recollection of
Give
it.
me more.
Janae ran to the car and got me a First Form energy drink, and I shotgunned that thing. And
Threw it back. I heard.
I was fine the rest of the race, baby. Like that just changed. And but when I started there, I started talking to Nick, and I was like telling him stories, and I couldn't remember. I would like pause middle. I couldn't remember what I was talking about. But then I got it together. It was great running with Nick, and he was actually going to have to leave at mile like 71 right before I got to the end, and he decided to keep pushing, which I appreciate. So we did 21 miles together.
So he got back to the start finish line with you.
Got back there, yep. And
this is where the story starts.
This gets real interesting.
This is where.
yeah. So I get
And that's right when I got hot.
I hope this girl hears this.
I hope we find this Mary.
I have no pacers lined up at this point, other than Janae and Amanda, and they both were like, we can't run that far, which is fine. And so there was a girl there named Mary from Canada, was looking for somebody to run. Her husband had dropped in the 100-mile race. She was planning to pace him, so she was just looking. I still don't even know what she looks like because it was dark.
Yeah.
And she had the brightest headlamp and waist thing I've ever seen in my life. So if I tried to look at her, I got blinded.
Yeah.
And we ran 24 miles together, and she had techno music playing or party music playing
Dubstep,
the whole time.
yeah.
And she talked the whole time. It was great. It kept my mind on things, and she was there and she pushed me. I'm like, she didn't let me walk. I mean,
That could have been a game changer.
It made a huge difference
to hit your goal too, man.
I
Like
actually probably it wasn't as fast, but I probably ran that second time
more efficient.
I ran more than I did the first time. So I walked a lot the first time, but I ran faster when I ran.
More efficient,
I ran very consistently the whole time. Weather got super weird, and it got really cold. It was thunder, lightning, and then a cold front came in. Leaves just started raining down, like you couldn't even see. It was just it felt kind of creepy, honestly. Felt like something out of a horror movie. And then ironically, so this is right before we get to the tunnel. We're about 2 miles from the tunnel. Leaves are coming down, wind's blowing, it's raining. And these women come up to us and say, "Hey, there's a guy in a Michael Myers mask that's chased us for 2 miles." And she's like, "Can you guys run and catch up with these women in front of us? Because we're worried about them." So we get up to them. We're kind of huddled together. The police are out looking for this guy.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
And this was around right before the tunnel, you
Yeah,
said?
so
So probably
this is
close to mile 80.
80 something. Yep. Get to the tunnel, get to the aid station. Janae ran with me those next 4 miles, which is great. So Mary stayed with me. So it was me, Mary, and Janae. We went to the turnaround and back. Janae did great.
Janae's a strong runner.
I kind of felt like a third wheel. They were just
Yeah.
chatting in the front, and I was just kind of just plugging along. It was great, and got to that aid station, and I knew once I got back to the tunnel, I was like, okay, I got this. I'll be all right. But there was a lot of pain. I mean, I'm pushing, and I knew.
I have a question real quick, Kevin.
Yeah.
So when you got back to the tunnel, I think that was mile 88 almost, or a little over 88.
Probably, yeah.
Because at that point you have no.
Well,
So when you
it's
got to the
mile 90,
turnaround, when you got to the turnaround, it was 88. So
88.
back to the tunnel was around mile 90. So
Yeah.
at that point in the race, you had this goal
I did
a
not
time.
think I was going to hit my
Okay, so we'll say your goal, right?
Yeah, under 20
Under
hours.
20 hours. So at that point in the race, where was your mind at associated with your goal? Because we haven't really talked about that yet.
So I finished the first 50 exactly 9 hours. Like I sprinted in. I was trying to get under 9 hours, but it was exactly it turned 9, I think, as I went through.
Nice.
So I knew I had a little bit of a buffer. I was a little ahead of schedule. Of course, I knew I was going to have to push to maintain that, and obviously slow down a bit. At mile 90, it's looking like even that last bit I knew when I met Nick, I said I've got to do at least 5 miles every hour. I think is what it was.
Or almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
And so I knew I had to stay consistent and push. And so like I had no watch this whole time. But I knew I get to an aid station, say mile 29, whatever, or 60 or 80. And I would just ask somebody what the time was. So I'm like doing all this mental math in my head and everything,
which is probably not super great when you're out of it at that point
but it
too.
Did keep me present,
yeah,
which was nice. And I was pushing really hard. And I was like, I've come this far. It's going to be within minutes. Like I'm close to getting this. I didn't know if I could do it. I've never gone under 20 hours before. And so I kept asking that girl, Mary, I kept saying, what time is it? What time is it? She'd be like, it's 12:23. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. And she did great. I mean, she pushed me, she made me run and push me. And so started getting a second win. My mile, some of my faster miles in the race, I was negative splitting after the tunnel quite a bit. I was like a 10:05 mile.
That's
awesome. I was running pretty strong. Finally, with maybe a mile or two left, she was like, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. But I picked up Amanda. We picked up Amanda at mile 97. And at that point, we did the math. I was like, okay, I could do like 15 to 20 minute miles and still get under 20. Like I knew that was the first time I started. Like I felt like I was running on edge for 50 miles or for 47 miles.
Which feels really heavy.
I was running on edge that whole time, just pushing. Because you also know in the back of your brain, I could walk 1 mile and this is all gone. Like 20, you could walk a 25-minute mile easily, or sit too long in an aid station. So the only time I sat in that whole race was in that porta potty. Like I never sat down. I never changed my shoes. I never did anything. I just kept trying to move. Aid stations, try to get the food and just keep moving. But of course, anytime, you can finish a race with your wife, it's extremely special.
Yeah.
And so, we pushed really, really hard to get to that mile 97. And that was a motivator to know I was going to pick up Amanda at that point. Pushed really, really hard to get there. And then, I was able to get through there and felt great coming to the finish line. Just like Wade sat down in that chair.
Yeah.
I'm glad I never did in the race because I could not move after that. But it was great to look up and see, 1940, whatever. As
45, I think is what.
I think it's 46 actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Either way.
But just to see that, I'm like, I'm going to get under 1950 even, which felt good. So yeah, it was great. All these are, you finish the race a different person, even for, all of us, you learn something from it, lots of cool things. But it was just a good lesson of just staying persistent, staying really positive, and enjoyed it. And, it hurt, but I was glad I was able to just stay positive and push through it. Because ultimately, I was literally over 7 hours behind the winners. It's not like I was going to place or anything like that, but it was neat to hit a kind of like a personal goal.
Yeah.
And if I would have gone 22 or 25 or 28, it doesn't matter. It's still 100 miles, but it was neat to be able to do that. It was special. Yeah, it was cool. But, it's always a lesson of man, people really like you had experience with your crew. It's the people that are there to help you really make a huge difference, and I don't think without Mary, without Janae and Amanda, I don't think I probably would have gone under 20. Honestly, I would have probably gotten a little in a dark spot there and kind of gave in to some of that pain and fatigue and walked a lot more and stuff. So it was nice to have that push. So
yeah, it was. And again, it was, oh my gosh, it was so cool for me because we get back to our Airbnb. And I lay down in bed, and within 2 minutes, I told Emily, I was like, I'm going to have to go to the couch. So she helped me get out of bed and walked me to the couch and got me a setup. I just propped my feet up on the ottoman they had there and just turned on Netflix or whatever they had. And I just tracked you the rest of the night, which was really cool too. Cause it's I'm sitting here on the couch, struggling, hurting, having this total different experience that you're having.
Yeah. Both transformational though.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. But it was really cool to just cause I was just in that spot. So it's, I don't know how to explain it even, but no, it was so cool. And I'm just grateful that how insane, it's insane for me sometimes to truly think about like working at a place like MoveWell where we're all doing these things that are really challenging. Like not even just us three, but like everybody, like Tori and Nevaeh on our team. Like Nevaeh did her first marathon at the Hot Rod Ultra this year, like with the 2-hour heads up. You know, it's like everybody's doing something. So
we're all
I think
striving.
for me, it's always really special to just be involved with that. But anyway, just awesome race weekend. I know we'll bring up Tunnel Hill and other conversations on the episodes coming forward. So anything you want to throw in?
I don't think
before
so.
we end?
Just if you're inspired by listening to this and you want to do a great race, Hot Rod Ultra, baby.
Yeah, seriously.
September 26th. It's hotrodultra.com. Go sign up. We may be able to offer some coaching support this year and stuff too. If this is the first time you've ever done something like that and you're nervous and scared about it, we're here to help. Obviously, any clients, we're here to help. If you're already working with MoveWell, we want to be able to help you. But the whole goal is just, we want ourselves and everybody we work with to just be fully alive. And sometimes that's pushing yourself physically and seeing what's possible and going to limits, busting through limits that you perceive are there that kind of unlocking that new stuff. So it just grateful and thankful that, that we're able to move our bodies. And even Logan, like, I know you're disappointed. You're in 71 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many people can say they've ever run even 71 miles?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I have no doubt you'll go shatter my time when you go back. That's for sure. So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, man. I think all three of us, everybody at that race in general, definitely unlocked something. Like no matter how it turned out, in terms of like your finish time or experience, you always unlock something new. I felt that, and obviously you and Wade did as well. So appreciate it, man. Thanks for sharing your experience. Thanks, Wade, for sharing his experience. If you guys were streaming this live, we appreciate you tuning in. If you're listening, we appreciate you as well, and we'll catch you next time.